Vattelevision.
We're here with Carl Swensson, one of the plaintiffs from this morning's hearings, and I just want to ask you, Carl, what brought you to the point of wanting to file this case, and what have you done in preparation for filing this case?
This case represents one of the last efforts, peaceful efforts, that we have available to us as citizens to finally get some resolution as to the wonderful question that is Barack Obama eligible to be president or not? And I got to back up. Is candidate Obama eligible to be president? Because that's, after all, what this is about. I'm not addressing the issue of whether or not he's occupying the office illegally right now. That'll be for others. What I am addressing is that candidate Obama has placed himself on the Georgia ballot, my ballot, a ballot that I vote on as a registered voter in the state of Georgia. Several others have joined in this, but the bottom line is this is something that we really hadn't decided was a tack to take just recently. This has been in the works for quite some time. I've been working with Brian Kemp. I've been working with a lot of people within the Republican Party trying to plant the seed that something needed to be done. My travels in the Republican circles have generally resulted in my being labeled as an outcast because I've never wavered off of the idea that Barack Obama is not a natural-born citizen, as per Article 2, Section 1, Clause 5. But I got it out there to the entire audience, and I asked them, I said, hey everybody, what do you guys know about natural-born citizen? How many people here think that to be a natural-born citizen, you merely need to be born on the soil? And a large segment was clapping. And I said, I hate to tell you this, but you're wrong. According to the law, you have to be not only born on the soil, but you must have citizen parents at the time of your birth. I got a large, warm reception from that, but the Republican Party at that point thought, hey, this guy's going to be trouble. And they were right. I am going to be trouble, because I want what's right for this country. So anyway, prior to that, in meetings with people who were running for elected office, actually the year before that, I was talking with Brian Kemp. Brian Kemp being the Secretary of State. I said, Brian, are you going to do anything about the eligibility issue of Barack Obama when he appears on our ballot? And he said, well, there's not a whole bunch I can do, really. It's just a matter of them submitting the forms, and then we basically put them on the ballot. I said, that's not going to fly, Brian. And I kept repeating that time and time again, every time I see him, or Sam Owens, the State Attorney General. I don't know if they took me seriously or not, but as we move forward to the next year and after that state convention, Brian Kemp established a committee, and that committee was a panel of probably 20 people. I don't know the exact number. But he had 3 separate meetings set up across the state, and I made it a point to attend all of those meetings. I did miss the Savannah one, but I did catch the Atlanta and Athens one. At which point, during those meetings, I got up and I said, we're going to have to do something about having eligible candidates on our ballot, especially the presidential ballot. Now, they didn't want to hear it, but along with saying that, I cited Minor v. Happersett as the precedence for establishing the fact that you had to be a natural-born citizen by virtue of the fact that you were born on the soil to citizen parents. I went through Resolution 511 concerning John McCain. I went through as much as I could in the 3 minutes time that I was allotted to actually speak. And then after the meetings, I would get in front of Brian Kemp and ask him, Brian, are you going to do something about this? And I told him that there are going to be challenges, and I'm going to be one of those that challenges. And during that time, I was putting that information out there on the web. Gratefully, other people were either doing it at the same time or picked up on what I was saying, because other states started thinking about doing their own challenges. But what I'm saying is that if you don't do the legwork first, bring the people along that can actually do this for you, you're only going to be halfway there. So as it turns out, the results of those meetings with Brian Kemp were that he created a panel. That panel was to hear any eligibility cases that were going to be coming forward. It was established that there was a time frame that you could file your challenges. And the very interesting part about that was that it didn't make it in the paper. It wasn't in the mainstream news. I just happened to catch it one day at 6:30 in the morning as I'm driving to work from a lowly little talk show program. Oh, by the way, the Republicans have submitted their ballot names, and so has the Democratic Party. Boom, that's it, done. I thought, I wonder why it's so secretive. But I also knew that that was my key. So I immediately drafted up my challenge and made sure I got it in. But again, I'm not alone on this. Other people were paying attention too. David Weldon, David Farrar, and also Kevin. Now Kevin, I was keeping him abreast of this. And he went with me to the Secretary of State's office where I hand-delivered my challenge. And then he labored over that, but he decided he was going to issue a challenge too. So now we had 4 people. There was a 5th, but his was not going to be a regular challenge. He was actually telling the Secretary of State that to do his job and take Obama off the ballot. So he didn't want to pay for a lawyer or anything like that. Well, what I'm trying to say is there was a lot of legwork that went into making this happen. A lot. And it's kind of interesting now that the ruling that the ruling that we anticipate getting by virtue of the fact that Obama's defense team didn't show up in court today, we would anticipate that we're going to get a default ruling. We were able to get all of the evidence we needed in there. All of it. And now other states are going to be in prime position to follow suit and hopefully have the same results.